You in the transition and you're wanting to go from residential to commercial? All right, so let's talk about that. Number one thing that I have learned from the transition from residential to commercial, one, the numbers are ridiculous if you get a win, but you definitely want that win. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Franklin Cruz from TrueInvestors Development. I'm actually walking on 9 acres that we are actually going to be doing 108 units for veteran housing. We own across the street as well. That's 4 acres that we just discovered recently that we could put 2 rail spurs for a total of almost 30 rail cars, which 3 weeks ago I had no idea I even had rail spur. That's another story. You could check some of my videos for that. Even this entire development, this has been amazing. And I'm gonna do a big spin so you can see everything. It's 9 acres. We're gonna walk it and talk at the same time. And I've been involved in over 30 other commercial transactions and value adds. So let's talk about the transition. So for myself, my personal story is, I was military, United States Army, cool, for 7 years. After I completed my time at my last duty assignment, I was a general's aide. I started residential because that's all I knew. And so I did residential for a very long time. And then 1 year in October 1st, 2018 is when I decided to go all in on really fine tuning my craft. And I just wanted to be the best real estate investor there was, period, for me in my area. And I wanted to dominate, and I did. Me and my then wife at the time, we did over 60 transactions in 1 year, all residential, face-to-face with the seller. Because what I found was the key is having conversations directly with the seller. And the other key I wanted to prove a point was, if I could truly just care for the seller like nobody's ever cared for them before, I don't want to just think about profit every time. I really just want to help the seller. I want to look at the seller and look at them in their face and act like they're my own mother. My mom passed away when I was 10 years old, so this is always very near and dear to my heart, is I wanted to say, look, what's a fast, slow, creative solution that we could actually come up with a solution for you? What does that look like? And create something and make it a win-win. So I didn't have to always worry about, I got to maximize the profit. Well, if we could list the property, then we'll list the property. If we can buy it creatively, we'll do that. And if we could do the fix and flip, then we'll do that too. No matter what, we want to make sure that it's a win-win for all parties. And so from there, after doing 60 transactions in 1 year, then I had the opportunity, I was referred a transaction. It was 9 acres, one house on 9 acres. And I did the exact same thing. What I discovered was the same strategies I was using on residential. The same way of just looking at a seller and creating a win-win scenario. That same thing I did on the commercial side, and it worked. And it worked every single time. Matter of fact, I recently just got a property under contract this week, 13 acres, commercial site, corner, high traffic area, it's like 20 to 40,000 vehicle traffic. Amazing. I met the guy face to face. Dan, had a conversation. We talked. We figured it out. We created a win-win. It's a huge win for everybody all the way around. And that's on top of all the other stuff. It always starts with that seller. So let me go back to transitioning. How do you transition? How you transition is you got to get great at what you're already doing. If you're not elite at what you're doing on the residential side, you won't be magically elite on the commercial side, period. Because you don't get a lot of reps on commercial. You get a ton of reps on residential, meaning having conversations, negotiating, creating win-win scenarios. That you get a ton of reps. When it comes down to the other aspect of it, you really don't get a lot of reps when it comes down to commercial. You just don't. So now the other aspect, what I've learned as well, is that you've got to kind of jump into it. So if you have a transaction, I see too many people overthinking. And speed, momentum is the key. Now, that's why you have a due diligence period. So if it goes sideways, you have a due diligence period. I get that. But at the end of the day, you have to move. You've got to do something. Get it under contract. Well, I don't have the right look, every single deal, I don't have them saying, just like Dan. Dan said this, and I recorded the whole thing. I'll put this on social media later. So Dan, well, they may say, well, I got to get my attorney to look at, hey, sir, there's only 2 pages. It's a 2-page contract. Let's read it together. Because it's plain language. I'm not here to put a cover over your eyes. We're here to like get a transaction done. And that's exactly what we did. Did you know he's like, oh yeah, that's not bad. Well, let's sign it right now. And we did. So that's how you want to review. It's for me. This is what's worked for me. I'm only talking about what's worked for me. And what's worked for me is jumping in and actually just giving it a shot. I'll tell you a short story. So when I was a kid, I was born in New York City. I was raised down in Barrico, Bloomingdale area. When there was only dirt roads in Barrico, in Florida. And so at one time, my mom told me that when I was a kid, I knew how to swim. Well, when I got older, I forgot how to swim, and I did not know how to swim. And I don't even remember ever knowing how to swim, actually. And so I think I was 8 or 9 years old, and I was at my friend Bubba's house. And Bubba's dad, his dad was an airplane pilot for the Air Force. Epic stories, okay, epic. And I was at Bubba's house all the time. Bubba was the center fielder of the team. I played first base and pitcher. I mean, he was just awesome. His family was great, had great food. He was one of those, like, back in the 90s when I grew up, like, we were not allowed to come back home, during the day. So you had to go out, and nobody was allowed in the house. So it's like, and Bubba, sometimes we were allowed to go in the house. Like, he had cable TV. That was a big deal. Like, oh, wow, okay, this is huge. Just FYI, if you're watching this and you're way younger than me, cable TV is basically like YouTube, but it's stationary. It's a stationary screen, and you can't move it and can't touch it, and your mother is in control of that phone, which is not a phone, it's a TV. So anyway, and I remember going by the pool, looking at it, and Bubba's dad came out, and he says, hey, you want to go for a swim? I said, no, I don't know how to swim. He said, you know what they do in the Air Force if you don't know how to swim? I said, no, what do they do? So he said, hey, let's go to the deep end. So we walked over. I was already scared. And he said they push people in. And no lie, this man done pushed me in. He pushed me in. And I remember going at the bottom with the water and looking directly at him. Like, the mirror of the water, is like, are you kidding me? And I'm panicking. Like, I'm dog paddling or whatever. And I do go all the way up to the top. I push off. And for some reason, it clicked and I started swimming. And I was shocked. I went to the edge. I was pissed. But I was also respectful. I said, oh, sir, why did you do that? Blah, blah. He said, you see, your instincts triggered. And you started swimming. And you didn't even know you got it. But you got it. That's what they do in the Air Force. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's what he told me. And I remember hearing that. And I was just like, that worked. That worked. That worked. That sucked, and it worked. So I would say this is like, sometimes you got to go. Sometimes you got to move. Sometimes you got to move forward quickly. Move, do something, take action. Stop overthinking things. It's going to mess up, but this is how you learn. And there's no such thing as mess ups if you just learn. Look, when you came out of the womb, did you know how to walk? No. Your parents took time to teach you how to walk, to keep moving forward, to fall and then get back up and fall and get back up and fall and get back up. And then when you started learning how to crawl, sometimes, trust me, some parents are like, damn, I kind of wish I had never taught them how to walk. And I'm one of those parents. Like, I got 2 boys and I'm like, man, there was a time frame like this on their knees crawling stage is not fun because they get into everything, right? And so what I would say is that transition, when do you know how to transition? You're not. Just move forward. But remember this, it's gonna naturally come to you only when you're 100% prepared, meaning you're not gonna know when it's gonna happen, but it will happen. It will just appear. But you do need to be great at the current things that you already have on your plate. What I call is you gotta have some integrity in what you're already doing. If you don't have integrity in what you're already doing, there's no way that you're gonna get blessed enough to go to the next level. I'm not even where I wanna be at all. This entire site is gonna be 108 units with 4,800 square feet of retail space. And I have to constantly kill my ego to say, I don't know it all, because I don't. I have not figured it out. There's still things that I got to make right, but I'm aware of it as well. So what I would say is, if you're transitioning, keep integrity in everything you do. Be egoless. This game has no ego, period, if you only want to progress. I could only say for myself, I've already negotiated with billion-dollar companies like Opal Fuel, People's Gas, DR Horton, KB Homes, city officials, county officials. I've done very large contracts that I've been very blessed to see and be a part of and actually be the main one negotiating. And what I've always noticed is I had to be egoless. I had to ask questions to the attorney. I just sit there. I've even worked at my attorney's office for free to understand what case law is. I've taken night school classes for contract law as well, because Harvard has that, just in case you don't know that. And so all these little things, I've done what I can to make sure that I am leveling up my skill set for me. Not even my partners. You got to have something internal that's for you. You're doing this for you. Nobody else. Nobody. And when you have that mindset, you're 100% unbreakable. Because in residential and commercial real estate, there's a ginormous opportunity still. And there will always be. Because at the end of the day, people always want land and deals and direct deals from sellers. And there's so many opportunities out there. It's never going to go away. So you just have to just level up your skill set and just make sure like, hey, I got this. So that, to me, again, that's how you transition. So taking it back. How do you transition? Make sure your own business is 100% integrity, no ego, your flow systems, your flow, everything, your skill set. You're killing it on that aspect. And don't think about, I need cash flow. No, you need active income. When you have massive active income for a very long period of time, we're talking a year, 2, 3 years, and now everything is 100% paid off. You got $1 million, $2 million in the bank, like all this. Now you can think about cash flow. But if don't think about cash flow if you don't even have an actual active revenue that's ginormous right now. So that's just in my opinion. And again, hopefully you get something out of this. My name is Franklin Cruz with TrueInvestors Development. And if you've got deals that you're working on right now on the commercial side that you want to maximize profitability and value, and you've got a complete blind spot, go to my website, TrueInvestors.com / True Developers, I believe that is, or TrueDevelopers.com. Check out all the case studies. If we can work together, fantastic. And if we can't, all good. Hopefully you get something out of this. Bye.